right now in Kansas, the GOP is proposing an anti-abortion bill that would basically levy a sales tax on abortion procedures. Okay, the sales tax in Kansas right now is at 6.3%. Any woman who decides that she wants to get an abortion would have to pay that sales tax. Now, I'm sure all of you already know this, but for those of you who don't know, medical procedures usually don't require a sales tax. But of course, this is a way to make abortions even more difficult to get. It won't be as accessible to people who don't have the money for it. And also, you cannot write it off as a tax deduction because, medical procedures can be written off as tax deductions at the end of the year. You will not be able to do that either if this proposed legislation passes.
Well, there's so many problems with this bill. But let me just get to one obvious one. If you can't write off abortion as a healthcare expense that you can do for every other health procedure, what that does is it gives the state auditors the right to demand your medical procedures.
Yes.
So let's say you took $2,000 tax deduction for your healthcare expenses. They're going to say, well, you're a woman, so you have to let us know where you spent that money.
Exactly.
Was it because you had a liver transplant or because you had an abortion? And you have to prove it.
Look, these medical records are, of course, supposed to be confidential. And Steve is absolutely right. If the state government decides they want to audit you because they know that in the state of Kansas you can't write off an abortion procedure, then yeah, they're going to want to look at your medical records so you can prove that the procedures you've had done do not include abortion.
And this is so insidious too because they can definitely keep a little list of people who had abortions and use that against them if they should run for office or whatever it may be, or their loved ones. So let's say you had an abortion and your father's running for office. They would have access to those medical records, which is ridiculous. The other thing is under the bill, you can get a special abortion insurance, and that would allow abortions to be covered as a healthcare expense. Now, that sounds fairly innocuous. Just get the abortion insurance. But guess what they're going to do?
Who gets abortion insurance?
Well, they're going to say, aha! You get abortion insurance. That means you're looking forward to having an abortion. Yeah. See, abortion is so bad, and you are a terrible person for getting this abortion insurance. Now, that just creates this black list of women who they're going to demonize as being, the worst of the worst, abortionists, baby killers, all that kind of stuff. And it's just another way of intimidating women. But this bill goes even further.
Let me explain the part where it goes further,
right,
because actually I think this part is the most disastrous part of the legislation. What it does is it bans malpractice lawsuits against doctors who withhold information about the fetus. So let's say that the doctor decides, okay, abortion is against my morality, so I am not going to tell this woman that the fetus is developing a severe birth defect. I'm not going to tell her that because I want her to have the baby. I'm against abortion. The doctor can do that, and the woman will not have a right to sue under malpractice. And also, if the fetus is harming the woman's life, if it puts her life in danger, the doctor can withhold that information.
If the woman has the baby, she would have had the abortion had she known this information, but she doesn't have the abortion. She has a baby instead because she doesn't have this information. And then she suffers some sort of terrible medical condition or tragedy after the fact. She cannot sue him for medical malpractice for withholding that information unless she dies.
If she dies, then you can file a wrongful death lawsuit.
But anything short of death, you cannot sue the doctor. Furthermore, the bill would require doctors to tell women that abortion causes breast cancer. Now,
by the way,
that's just flat out not true.
Exactly.
It's just you're mandating doctors to lie to their patients. I mean, God, I can't believe the hypocrisy because they talk about big government all the time. They hate government. They hate it. They don't want it in our lives. They want all regulations gone. But my God, when it comes to a woman having access to an abortion or her reproductive health choices, then they want to regulate every last aspect of it.
And then, Republicans will have a discussion about how Democrats are making up this war against women. It's this made up thing, it's political, it doesn't really exist. Really, it doesn't exist? In this case, a woman's life can be in danger